Good afternoon, my name is Hiromi Mena. I'm an exchange student in Belgium. Right now, I'm with Ariane Manette, a 20 years old girl that lives in the village of Angers in the province of Namur. And we're going to discuss about two main problems that maybe she can find out that exist in her area. Good afternoon, Dorian.
Hello.
Tell me, Dorian, what do you think it could be a problem in your area nowadays?
I would say the buses, because as we live in the countryside, there are really a few buses along the day, but there are not a lot, and it's really difficult for us to go to the city or to go to school or to hang out with our friends because we are really dependent on our parents, and when they are working, well, we are just stuck here. So yeah, that's a problem. I think as a solution could be that the public transportation organization add more buses and change the schedules of these buses, because for example there is one buses arriving in this village at 6 a.m. so nobody uses it. So if it was at like 11 a.m. or 1 or 2 p.m. it would be easier and it would be better. So yeah, that would make life easier for us young people because we don't drive, and our parents are not there all the time. And that would be better for us to see our friends, because we live in different villages, and so we live kind of far away from each other. So the only way to see each other is to meet in the city and to hang out there or at school, because yeah, it's the only solution that we have. Because of the problem of the buses problem. So that's what happens here. But what is the problem in Peru? Is it the same or is it different?
The difference between here in my city is that in my city there are a lot of buses, okay, but we are a lot of people, so that makes that the traffic, it's really hard to get to a city to another. Maybe even though if they are close to each other, it takes a lot of time in car or by bus or whatever, and it's dangerous. The cars are always going in really high speeds. So it's really difficult to take the bike, even though if it's easier to take a bike to go to another city that is close, you have to take the bus, but it takes time. And also the buses are not really, they don't have an organization, or they are not always clean. There are too many people, so if you come from school and you have all your things or your stuff from school or your bag or whatever, you cannot be there because there are a lot of people, you cannot move on. So that's really about the transportation is that, for example, also in our country, getting from the countryside to the city, it's really difficult. Not only because there are no buses or there are not tractors, it is because there are not highways. So the state haven't built enough highways for us yet. So people think that getting, for example, all the fruits and things from the high mountains, it's really difficult to get them into the city. That's what makes also those kind of things, natural things, more expensive.
And don't you have trains to go to the different cities?
No, in our transportation in Peru we don't have trains, so we have to use the buses in an obligatory way, or your parents have to take you by car. Yeah, it's the truth that we can take the buses, and there are a lot of buses all the time, so that's not a problem. But you are almost never comfortable in them, and we don't have trains more.
So we can say that we have kind of the same problem because we are both dependent on the cars.
Yeah, that's great, but I think there is a difference, and because even though there are not buses here, the buses you take, they are comfortable. Well, they're not that comfortable, but they are reorganized, and you know there is a time and a schedule. In my city, there are a lot of buses, so you don't really mind about the schedule, about getting in time to some place, because you think there's gonna be always a bus. So that's what creates also to be to not to be at the time when you have a date or whatever that needs you to be punctual. The possible solution for the problem of the buses and transportation and highways in my city and in all of my country, I think that the state have to make more movements for us. I think it's really important to build more highways to get from the countryside, from the high mountains into the city, because it's going to help people to be more connected, and it's going to help people to increases in economic movements also. And another possible solution is maybe to create a new organization of buses and of land transportations, because I think that's the problem. We need to be organized in our organization. And that's the end of our video. Thank you for listening to us, and visit Belgium and visit Peru.
Yeah, that's it. That was the word of the end of the presentation.